and we are live. We are talking about astrology, and as soon as the good stuff happened, it went off. So please, as you come back in, put in the comments your sun, your moon, your rising. Sorry for the delay. Hoping this is sending it out. Do me a favor, please hit the button, send it to a few people, make some comments, put some comments down there, hit that button and give me a bunch of likes. Yes, and we'll get it back here. We're going to bring Christopher Witecki back here. Yeah, put down the comments. Let's get this in. And it was like everywhere.
Hey man,
Woo!
how you guys doing? I'm just getting back in the line here. I thought I'd get a light on while I was gone. It's been crazy, huh?
Yeah, the entire city just went dark for a second.
Cancun, huh? Wow, that's
Yeah,
trippy.
everybody went dark.
Got a story of our times, isn't it?
Well,
Sounded great.
we were telling the truth about fat, and if you told the truth about fat, people would change how they ate and all that other stuff. So
Oh yeah, you have to wonder about that, isn't it?
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of extreme to bring Cancun down.
So
I think they have more calculations than that. Go
so
ahead.
so this is I mean, this has been, and we haven't been, weekly because of my travel schedule, but I
Yep,
mean,
we've
we've
had
been
some
talking.
good raw talks, just so you know. Raw's done a great job filling in and it was
Yeah, I
good, but go
watched them
ahead.
all.
Yeah, did you
We've been
great?
we've been pounding at this for a year, telling people almost a year, saying this is what's going to happen. Now we're
Yep.
here, and it's
Yeah.
happening, and people are going, "What's happening?"
Mm. Yeah, some are just getting a. Well, what's happening is we're in a timeline shift. So like the big core of this is that you either face kind of your own karma with yourself this year or not. Karma would be sort of those things that just keep going on that you don't stop. Pain, suffering, self-sabotage issues, addictions. These are all reflections of where the soul's suffering. So if you address where your soul is suffering, all right, and maybe it's not a perfect solution, but you're on your way to healing and feeling better, then we believe at Serious Joy that you're moving on to what we call a new timeline. The timeline is basically a movie, a human movie that we've all decided to be on, which is the ascension of the Earth, to the next stage. So Earth in its next trauma. Now, we believe that if you have not faced your trauma, you're not going to be able to see the exits, really. You're going to be still caught in seeing a lot of your old stuff. And so you're going to be caught in that and still learning about that, which is okay. Everyone has their whole life to figure this out. But you're going to sort of stay on the same timeline, the same drama you've been on. As a result, in Libra, there's a huge shift in relationships. So relationships are coming to a close for people who are going to different destinations next, who are going to different, what we call timelines. They have different agendas, right? And people also, even if you've decided to go on this, ascension wake up tour that all of us are, that a lot of us are going on, even then you may be separated from relationships because you play a different role in this new timeline than you did in the prior timeline. I think the prior timeline was specifically, I think, to reveal your own karma through people and patterns and relationships in your life to where you could overcome it and no longer be taken back by that karma.
So, I mean, I've been feeling it. I'll tell people we've had personnel changes, we've had relationship changes, we've had changes even with our world tour. We
Yeah.
pulled off the world tour. We had a relationship with the world and where we're going, and something changed, and we're like, time to pull back.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that kind of stuff's happening for everybody all around?
Well, I haven't been in touch. I've been so self-absorbed with my own stuff that I haven't been able to really reach out. I'd like to hear from our, people commenting if they're seeing this. I know in my life and in the life of the people around me, we're on this same agreement and we're all seeing big change. Yes. I mean, mostly relationship change in the last few weeks and mostly career-wise too. Family stayed kind of the same, surprisingly, where I thought family would also have some big shifts. Family just sort of went over railroad, railroad tracks where it got bumpy for a second, and then suddenly we're sort of back to our old. We're back to the same place we were. We're on different, paths. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no change. So it was mostly daily friendship and career stuff that we saw change.
Now, I heard that like Libras, Capricorns, Aries, they're kind of in their warrior mode right now. for the next little while.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the Cardinal Cross there of
Yeah,
Capricorn, Cancer,
yeah,
Aries, Libra,
yeah.
and that cross is at a crossroads, so to speak, because both both of those two energies are kind of expired as we know it, the way they know it. For Capricorn with Pluto and Capricorn at 29 degrees, this is the last mile between now and November 19th of Capricorn getting an upgrade. It is an upgrade at the end of the day for the new power structure of Earth and the way Earth is going to be powered. From what we understand, power will no longer come from the top down. First of all, it'll come from the bottom up. I mean, I think that's the way it was designed. I mean, that's how plants grow, from the bottom up. And secondly, power will be from within, not from without. That's the big shift of Pluto and Capricorn. Like, hey, y'all, we're no longer going to get our power from outside ourselves. We're no longer going to go from the top down. We're going to go from the bottom up and from inside out. That's a huge reversal. That's the preparation of the age of Aquarius, which Pluto moving into Aquarius on November 20th, 1920th, would indicate the official beginning of, like, the dawn of the dawn. If the way I liken to it as far as the age of Aquarius is concerned, think of the United States, like when the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock is where we are now. And then, that was the 1400s. Then, the 1700s, we had the revolution. Not as far of a gap, but you have your Pilgrims and then you have the rise. And so we are the Pilgrims of the new era.
So with this all changing, like there's there's all these people are actually changing. Like their signs have been people like a Cancer last year is acting differently than a Cancer this year,
Yes.
and a
Yeah.
Sagittarius this year is like Capricorns are now becoming the salespeople of the world, and they never were before.
Yeah. Yeah. You're seeing that evolution. I mean, yeah. So that Cardinal Cross indicates where there's a big change going on. I mean, Cancers have got to, not put their power in relationships anymore. And Libras have to embrace their emotional foundation in their home. And Aries have to be, more compassionate to themselves. I mean, really the problem was they weren't compassionate to themselves. That's why they're brutal to the world. So what you're going to see, I think, is that Aries are being a little bit more Libra-like and Libras are being a little bit more Aries-like, which is funny, interesting. And I'd say the same is true maybe with Capricorn and Cancer, actually. I mean, the Capricorns that will go farther will be the ones that embrace emotion as part of their, criteria and corporate culture. Like Capricorn is the corporate culture of the Earth, and so it's time for corporate to consider about how we feel. Cancer, on the other hand, has got to not allow themselves to be drowned in emotion, make some commitments, and bite the bullet and pull themselves out of certain emotional codependencies. Which is where they've sort of gotten stuck over the years.
So what happens? Okay, and I get this a lot. People go like I was talking today, and he goes, "Well, I don't really identify as a Gemini," and I'm like, "Well, what's your degree?" So we're made up of all of these different components,
Yeah.
and so like for example, I have lots of Aries, I have lots of Libra, and I have Sag, and inside of me, those aspects of me are changing too, which change the way
Yeah.
the mixture of my personality, like a cake being baked is being baked with different ingredients.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're all 12, we are all 12 signs. It's a matter of how much energy, what kind of energy do we invest in what kind of sign? So you have it's like 12 upon 12 upon 12 upon 12 upon 12. Really, it's just variations of 12, combinations. Think of it like a lock. Who you are is where this 12 is, that 12, this 12, that 12, this 12, that 12. And then it's all to a finite point. And the finest point is the step number, net number. So the net number is the finest point of the expression of your energy. And each layer is sort of where you've chosen, one place in the layer. So we're pretty deep as far as the combination of who we
So
are, right?
and this is where that I've been helping people who are not really into astrology say, I may be a Sagittarius, but my relationships are
Ah,
Aquarius.
yes, we adopt different assigns to do different things. Yes. Basically, you have 12 things you have to do, and then you have 12 ways you can do it, right? So the first thing you do is you assign one sign to each part of yourself, and that's determined by your rising sign. So your rising sign, your ascendant, that's how your personality is going to be to the world. And from there, it's all around the zodiac, all 12. So What your personality is determines what your values are. Second house determines how you communicate. Third house determines how you feel. Fourth house, everything is determined by that rising, which is the moment, the constellation that was rising on the horizon of your birth.
Right.
Like if your dad would have gone outside, looked at the east horizon, boom, whatever that degree constellation was, is what calibrates the entire incarnation.
So this is why, and I think this is why people like, I can generally say that people are becoming more open to the idea of astrology. And I see
Yeah.
astrology, and like you do, I see each one of those numbers and the aspects as being a digital, well, basically a soul blueprint. And then our
Yes.
DNA responds to that soul blueprint. And that's what
Oh,
shapes us and molds us. And that's why Sagittarius look different than Aries, they look different than Tauruses.
yeah, totally. I mean, and it's energy. It's there are 12 frequencies of human consciousness. Really, if you, I mean, human consciousness can be dialed into 12 frequencies, and then you can add 12 frequencies to those frequencies, and then you begin to have the symphony, this harmonic of energy. And sometimes it's not harmony at all. But yeah, understanding those 12 basics is everything, because everything kind of derives from there.
So
From
So
a
if you're brand new and you're trying to learn yourself, okay, first of all, go to Serious Joy, sign up, take the $3.99, get the soul biography, which helps explain things, your A story and your B story. You can go do that
Mhm.
today. Go
Yep.
through Human Garage go through our affiliate portal, go to Serious Joy, you get the $3.99. But outside of that, what are some of the other things that you can do when you're brand new to learn more about yourself?
Well, there's basics to knowing yourself. The biggest three that drive us are, to run your chart, you need to know your time of birth because we need to know what was rising on the horizon at your birth. And we know where you were born because we need to know where you were on Earth to know what was rising on what horizon. So we have to know the time and the date. And if you don't know the time, then do it for when the sun rises on the horizon. Make your sun right on the horizon. Make your sun the ascendant, and that is going to be about 80% correct, that chart. So from there, what you want to know is your rising and your moon. So really everything in consciousness comes down to two energies, the sun and the moon. Okay. The sun is your heart and the moon is the reflection of your heart. It's the reflection of all coming off the sun. Just like the moon reflects the sun's light, the moon is a part of us that reflects the heart's energy. So whatever's coming out of the heart of creation, the moon reflects back to you like a rear view mirror so you can feel how everything is going. So that creates the basic essence of reality. What my heart wants and how I feel I am right now. And how you feel you are right now is a reflection of where you are right now in every scope of the word.
So we've had a couple.
You're,
We've had a couple of 28-degree Libras today.
mm,
Congratulations, happy solar return, Michelle Driver.
happy solar return. Yay. The
So
sun's come back to where it was when you were
so
born.
here's another one, and it took me a long time to get this.
Ooh, same
I no
thanks.
longer look at my calendar day as my birthday. I look
Mm,
at my step day only. I
yeah.
don't care what the calendar says.
Yeah.
And when you used to say, "Hey, happy step birthday," and I go, "My birthday's not yet," and for years you'd say that. Now I get it, because
Right. You can feel it.
yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the day of my birthday now. Like it's a step day, and that changes every year. Why is that?
Because the Earth wobbles. So if we don't draw the calendars according to the planets. We draw the calendars as absolute with a correction every 4 years called a leap year. And that correction is because they know there's a wobble. They know it's not perfect, and that's why every 4 years they correct. Right, 4 quarters makes a whole. Right. So if it was astrology, the truth is the Earth is actually wobbling a little bit. That's why the calendar isn't perfect. And so the step system is according to the exact place of the Earth at this moment to the next moment to the next moment. So it's where the Earth actually is. And the calendar is sort of slapped on top of it. And the calendar is not always aligned to where the Earth actually is. So technically, your step birthday is a little bit off every year. You know, if you use an absolute calendar where it will actually wobble a little bit ahead in time, and then it'll wobble a little behind in time, and then it'll wobble a little ahead in time. So you'll see your step birthday. Step birthday is when the energy is the same it was at your birth, the exact energy.
Well, you
So
said
you'll
something
see,
interesting: wobble ahead or behind in time,
yeah,
and because time itself is actually fictitious, man-made time.
yes, totally. Because time is this absolute we put on to. The truth is that energy oscillates back and forth. Energy always oscillates back and forth, just as, and that's from direct, retrograde, direct, or around the sun and around the sun and around. Like there's always this, and the retrograde is when that goes behind the planet, and direct is when it's in front of the planet. So really everything is swinging like a pendulum, everything. If you watch your step birthday and you watch the calendar, you'll see your step birthday will be a little bit ahead of your calendar day, and then you'll see it back to your count right on your day, and then a little bit a day behind your calendar date, and then start to go to your calendar date. And so you just see this go back and forth. Even the step change. So at Series Joy, we track the step change. It's always moving, and you know what it does? It goes forward in time and it stops, and then it goes back in time and it stops. So the
Yeah.
step number will be like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. The change will go all the way around to like 6 p.m., and then be like 5 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 2 p.m., 1 p.m. And that's, which is difficult. It's one of the things we do with the site, is just to show you where the hell is the step change, because
Yeah.
it's always a pendulum.
It makes a big difference because, like I've been working with Serious Joy for like 7 years, I think, and I
Mm,
can feel the step change coming, and I'm
yeah.
already acting the way that I should. And I think the way I describe it is that I was taught to act a way that was outside of my human nature.
Mm,
And I was taught that by a Gregorian calendar, by
right.
systems and belief systems. And today I express myself openly. So over time, I'm expressing myself exactly in relationship to the energy without polluting my thoughts. If the energy is one way, I'm reacting that way.
Totally. I mean, when I first started Serious Joy, I was elated for a different reason, because I'd always been I just do a horoscope on a Monday or a Tuesday, or I do a reading on a certain day. And it's like, and I pretty much lost touch with space time until the next reading. Like, I didn't know. With Serious Joy, I was like, I had to know every moment, every day. And once I plugged into that, I was like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
there's a ballet going on. There's an energetic ballet. And you can, waltz to the ballet, and you can get into sync with the universe. And if you do, most of life goes along with you really easily. Like if you're willing to do the dance, right? If you bull through the dance and you try to like do your own way, you can, but you end up creating, resistance, strife, pissed off people, all sorts of stuff. So very early on, I began to coordinate, like, I'm just going to make my decision on a step 8 day. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to worry about this until step 2 day. I'm not. So I would just know I don't have to do that foxtrot for 3 or 4 days. And that built so much relaxation. But what ends up happening is, even if you forget the steps, like you can't watch, after you, like, let's say 3 months with us, like a quarter, you'll be in the dance, because it's just a count. It's just a count from like to 11 and to zero again. It's just a count from 0 to 11. And you'll find that the day you signed the lease was on a step 8 day.
Yeah.
The day you picked up the keys was on a step 9 day. The day you felt like shit was a step 2 day. And you go, whoa, I've been dancing along this pattern subconsciously. And they look at your friends and family, and you're like, oh, you see that they are too, but they have different dances, different wardrobes, different situations. So you can see that the same steps happening, whether they're aware of it or not either. So it's an interesting. We're all meant to just dance in synchronicity.
So that synchronicity, like today's a 28-degree day, and 28 is a manifestation day.
Yep.
So when we say manifestation, people think that's when things happen, but that's actually not true. So what is the energy of today, for example?
The energy today is 28. And I can't remember what you said right before, because a message came in overlapping.
Well, it was 28.
A manifestation.
It's
Okay,
yeah.
so like when it happens. So manifestation actually is, and this has come from studying metaphysics while I'm looking at astrology in my life, looking at both. And it turns out 28 is when you, as a creator of the energy, so you are a point of presence of God's energy, when you create an emotional tone would be, I'm happy, or I'm excited, or, got to do this. So like we have these little emotional pronunciations. If you commit to the emotional pronunciation, what you feel, and you hold that feeling, that's committing to the tone too, then you begin to attract or call or command, or you could say tune the universe or communicate to the universe. That tone communicates to the universe, I want more of this tone. And so what happens is anything that is smaller than you in consciousness will surrender to the tone. And that's the simple metaphysics. Like a bigger energy, everyone surrenders to what's underneath that bigger energy. So Christ conscious is a hell of a tone, right? Everyone will fall under that tone. So that tone then brings in everything begins to attract things. And then on top of that, you have to love and protect because it adds to a 10. You have to love and protect that tone. Love and protect means, like a mama protects her baby in her womb. It's like you don't let, you love it. You don't let anything get in the way of the energy. You don't let yourself think thoughts like, oh, I hope nothing bad happens, because that's you getting in the way of your own tone. That's you bumming out your own party. And you hold that tone pretty much until, you hold that pregnancy at least until 1 degree of the next sign, at least. Okay, you have to hold that tone. Now, does that mean that you do nothing else than sit in a lotus position? If you have that luxury, yeah, go for it. Like, I don't think any of us do. So what I do is I pick it up and then I pick it up and then I pick it up and then I pick it up. And so I'll continue to pick up the tone. That means as I'm going into the store, I'll pick up the tone again and walk on the store with the tone. As I about to answer the phone, I'll pick up the tone again, answer the phone. Like I keep picking up the tone,
So that might look
picking up the
like
tone.
to somebody. One thing I've noticed is that I'm about to, like, on step 8 2 days ago, make a decision. Yesterday I started to take action, and today it's like I get all these opportunities. No, I don't want that. Yes, I do want that. No, I want more of that.
Oh,
So it's a
yeah.
sorting kind of thing that I find that happens, and that's what, because converting the idea of the emotional tone is how I manifest something, and
It's
then
how you hold it.
that sorting is what the way I experience it, right?
Yes. I mean, the sorting is the next step, which is 29.
Yeah,
Um, and 29 is go with that feeling, not that feeling, that feeling, not that feeling, that feeling. So it's a feeling. So when you have things coming at you as far as choices, we would argue it's a feeling that you love. You either love or you don't love. I love it.
yeah.
I don't love it. I love it. I don't love it. I love it. I don't love it. I love it. I don't love it. And so you start attracting pieces of it right away, for sure, and make choices and beginning little, tributaries that will lead to a river, of potential. Not everyone, you're 29, so I think you're probably seeing evidence faster than most.
I do. I
I mean,
see it.
like, yeah.
I see it. I see the patterns and everything too.
Yeah, you're reading the Matrix, and and I never really. I mean, we're going like I'm kind of. The truth is like some projects are at step 28 right now. Some projects are at step 29. I have some projects starting at step 0. So you have like layers upon layers upon layers of steps and where you are steps, right? Like, as far as you want to get to the nitty gritty of it. I myself will see evidence usually. Well, I'm at a point now where I'll see evidence before 28, to be honest.
I mean, you can read the tea leaves. That's why. I mean, that's the greatest.
Oh.
One of the greatest things for me was learning from you. Actually, when you went away for 9 months, that forced me to learn astrology enough because I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
call you and say, "Hey, what about this?" And
Mm-hmm.
and then I started asking. So I know every single appointment, everybody who drives me in an Uber, everybody who serves me. I know like 99% of the people that interact with me, I know at least their birthday and their sunset. And
Yeah, I demand it pretty quickly too. I mean, I
and
just
I
need to know.
what I find is that it's that symphony. Like, I'll give you an example. Today I had 3 external meetings today. Two of them are sorry, 3 people I contacted externally today. One of them is a 29 Gemini that called in. One of
Mm-hmm.
them on a 29 Gemini, the first one I picked up on the live, and then another one, a 12-degree Gemini, and a meeting.
Mm.
And I mean, I think that's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah.
That especially with my astrology.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, as a reader, when you start watching these things, it's literally like looking at the code of the Matrix. Like you're literally just seeing the patterns come in.
I no longer
When I
see
do,
the code. I just see the woman in the red dress.
I'm seeing the code. I mean, give her my number. No, I'm kidding. I haven't seen the woman in the red dress, but I am seeing the code. Like, I mean, we're going through a huge transition. So, right now the code is what makes me feel better about it.
Yeah, yeah.
People leaving, things changing, uncertainty in the markets, uncertainty at the revenue, all this uncertainty. If the code didn't say all that, I'd be nervous. But now I really do skate through moments like this pretty confidently, because it's more of the same. You know, it's a nice constant actually, but it turns out the constant is so complicated that no one really has figured it out. I think stumbled upon it.
So
You know, like yeah.
so we got let's talk about this week. Okay, because today's 28, tomorrow is I would imagine for most people, I mean I love 29 days. I imagine for most people tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a hairball.
100%. Actually, tomorrow's the hardest day of the week. It's not just 29 degrees, but the sun square Pluto 29 Capricorn. So we've got a major square with the sun. I would not be surprised if there's a world event tomorrow of some proportion. Somewhere a power grab, somewhere a failed coup d'etat, something.
Yeah,
Something will snap off just because there's got to be something in the world that's at that brink. So anything that's at the brink is going to snap
right.
tomorrow for sure. Because the energy is very intense between the sun and Pluto. And the sun and Pluto, you may go, you know, the Pluto's so tiny, but really the sun is the center and Pluto is the last mile, the last planet.
Yeah.
Everything past Pluto is human consciousness as it relates to galactic. Everything from Pluto on is human beings. So from the sun to Pluto is everything of human beings from A to Z.
Hmm.
So you have everything from A to Z then squaring each other in an intersection. Walk, they come to a square. One has to stop, one has to proceed. They have to get past each other's energy to sort of to create this kind of thing, right? So you have energy creating energy, and what do you get? To scatter, scatter up, scatter out, right? And so it forces things to break apart that are not in concert with where we're going, basically. So things shatter on squares and oppositions. So something will shatter without a doubt. And it
So
may be an
something, yeah, something's
impression.
going to shatter. So when it does, people can go, "Oh, that's what was supposed to happen."
Agreed. I mean, it could not sustain. I mean, you won't shatter. I mean, so for instance, you know, when that news comes, whatever it is, you know, will it make you shatter? No. Why? Because you define yourself greater than those two things, right? Like, so it's only like people who are absolutists about certain directions that get really, truly shattered. Any of us who are like willing to go with whatever works can get through these moments very quickly. We're just like, oh, if that's going to be the case, I'll have to get out of the way of that and I'll have to move in the way of this. And, you know, so it's okay. That's what it is. These two absolute forces say, hey, you got to go around. There ain't going through
So,
anymore.
so we're going from Grandmaster, Libra, balance in relationships, and in a very artistic way, we move on Wednesday to Grandmaster of the Grand Puba 0 degrees Scorpio, which has got to feel something. It's got to have some sort of major impact. I'm thinking on Wednesday.
Well, what's interesting about this moment you just brought up is it's the only Grandmaster to Grandmaster handoff.
Right,
Um, all the other handoffs are Grandmaster to amateur, to total novice, to
right.
nothing. So, and the
So
thing
this
about,
one's the rough one. They are the most
well,
impactful ones.
this one's a paradoxical one because if you know it's Grandmaster, Grandmaster, if you're an idiot, it's Grandmaster to zero. You know what I mean? Like, so it varies. Not everyone gets the same zero, you know, like
Right.
depending on your zero, how zero awareness you have.
So
You know,
what do you think that'll feel like for people on that's on Wednesday?
I think for some people, it's going to feel like the Fool card walking on air. So I think for some of us, we were suddenly walking on air, walking on a dream. Like, oh my God, we realize we're floating, and that's because we decided that we are in command of our. So this is the new timeline. So to me, this is the official new timeline. Those who then there's people who assumed it would be fine and did not know there was what they did not know, and so there's this, ah, you know, sort of feeling of falling out of some sort of grace where you fall back to reality. And so this will be an energy fall. For people who are somewhere in the middle, you still feel this energy fall. You still feel like this, wow, it's just everything was intense and suddenly it's like
Yeah.
eerie quiet, you know, just nothing going on. Where's everybody? You know, kind of very quick, because it is an energetic fall. But I think in this
And is there,
particular
but there's
year, it's
also
some
a
lots of
0 degrees
changes.
Scorpio. You kind of have a feeling of something, right? Like something's coming. Is that usually what it is?
Uh, well, it depends on your awareness of the zero, but like, I used to be like Phil Collins, something's, you know, I can feel it coming in
Coming
the
in
air.
the air tonight.
That used to be my step zero. Like, what you feel is that you feel the edges. So Scorpio is the edge. Okay, so you feel the edges. You feel, and so if you were unaware there was an edge, now you feel like there's an edge. When you didn't realize there's an edge, well, that feels like a cliff because you have no awareness there. All you feel is like the energy going over right here, right? So for those who are unaware of the edges, it can feel very vulnerable. Like, oh God, I don't know. Suddenly I feel like I'm up high, or I could fall over, or I could tip. And so there's an uncertainty there, right? For those who have who know where the edges are, but have felt like they've been having to like fight back, fight off this energy, suddenly they feel safe, fortified.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who've been putting up boundaries, it's like, oh, thank God, thank you. Like Scorpio takes over, like because Scorpio's active, and boundaries put up instantly in Scorpio, are taken down instantly. Like we just have instant, like power windows versus, up most of the year you got to like roll down the boundaries and roll them back up. But Scorpio's like, it's just all power windows. Like they just go up right away and they're bulletproof, and everyone's just like, you can't get me. And like bullets are bouncing off of it, and you just know you're good. So we all have like we're super guarded. We all feel strong. We all feel safe. Once we say, I want to feel safe, then boom, it is. It's interesting that the forefathers chose the elections during Scorpio, because when everyone has their guard up and everyone knows, because they were astrologers. And so when everyone suddenly knows, like, I know me, I'll tell you that, that sort of Scorpio is that kind of like, you do you, I'll do me. It's the one time of the year where like, it's okay. I don't need to go over there, which we need those boundaries. And that's, unique to life that we don't have in heaven.
So then Thursday we come into 1 degree Scorpio, and that's about our heart.
That's usually when people feel vulnerable. So 1 degree is your heart comes online. And so for one, because it's Scorpio, it's all or nothing. So if you don't feel your heart at all, you are way shut down. You're way shut down. You need to know you have there. You should be in touch with your heart. You should feel your heart. If your heart feels, and then whatever your heart feels is your truth. Because there's Scorpio there, there's no other introduction of another energy there. So it's a pure read of your heart.
So people that weren't following their heart, or they had soft boundaries with their heart, they're going to feel that they didn't have the boundaries, right?
You're going to, you're going to feel anything that you have not been able to feel, because, when the sun is in Libra, it's your relationships and when it's your sun's in Virgo, it's your body right? This is Scorpio. It's invisible. It's just the heart.
Yeah.
It's just the emotions. It's just the beliefs. Yeah. Unless there's a wall up. If there's a wall up, then I can't feel it. Oh my God. And that is like, you got a big wall up. You're defensive, so that's the issue. So yeah. So what happens is a lot of times people feel like this is the first time their heart is hurt. So for instance, there are a lot of relationship changes in Libra. If your heart was hurt about it and you didn't look at it, you'll feel it on Thursday. You'll feel like, oh, that actually hurts me what they said 10 days ago, like 20 days ago. Like that hurt. Like you don't realize it until it hurt until now.
And then we go.
So this is sort of a.
Then we go into Friday, and then Friday it's like we're in our feelings again. After our heart opens up, then we're like double packing in our feelings, right?
This is where it can really turn into this is where people get sick usually with like winter colds is this week, because they're basically accept the truth of where their heart and feelings are, and they haven't been looking at the truth all year. And so basically this is where the truth catches up to you about how you really, what your heart really has to say and what you really have to feel about it. So by Halloween, it leads to Halloween issue times where you're going to decide what you're going to do about all this pain, all this. Very rarely do people come to the zone and they're like all happy, giving themselves straight A's for the year, But this is also the deeper brooding side of Scorpio. Like we know Scorpios, they get that hiding, they hide a lot of pain. This is the zone. This is the zone they're hiding. It's this. And we all have to go through it once a year, to feel what we've been hiding from ourselves. So it's kind of spooky. That's why it's Halloween, what you're hiding from yourself, the goblins, the demons, the ghosts, all that is about inner psyche. All those things are about inner psyche. My ghosts, my goblins, my demons. And
then Saturday we go to Sagittarius, Scorpio. 3.
Yeah, threes, three can go up or down, based on kind of where you are.
I choose up.
In your, well, you do. You're 29. It's all up. to me, 3 is up. It's like, don't get down. We can do something about it. Like I have this like happy character that comes out that teaches, but that's a very healthy belief structure. For those who don't believe in themselves, this could be like it can take even worse. Like where it's just like nothing's gonna change. Like you can just go deeper into it. Like because there's a belief, because the belief is nothing can change, therefore nothing can change. So again, you really go looking at your shadow in Scorpio, and then 4 is really the door when things
That's
change.
Sunday.
Sunday. Hmm.
Yeah.
Because 4, it's
What would you
like,
expect a change to feel like for somebody on on this weekend? Like, what are some of the things that would change because it's in Scorpio?
well, it changes. 3 would be like another person let me down, another situation let me down. Again, once again, I'm the loser. I'm the this. I'm the that. Like that would be the whole people falling on a Saturday. Here it is. See one more time, kind of thing. Thereby proving what, right? Like 4 is like, so where do you belong? So okay, yeah, it's 100th time that they've done that to you. Where do you belong? Where do you belong? That's 4. Where do you belong? And it's like, they'll say, well, I don't belong with people like them. Yes, but that's actually the mirage of, where the movie's playing. Why did we attract someone like them in the first place? Because we were not where we belong with our heart is the core case. So basically on day 3, when you said, oh, see, I'm a loser. Once again, I've attracted the wrong kind of person. See, you're not on the right side of your heart when you say that. You're
Right.
not on the loving side of your heart. You're on the abandoning. You're saying, oh, sorry, heart, you're shit out of luck. That's just what God dealt you. Like you're taking that attitude with your heart versus, are we going to take that from them? Right? Like the other attitude. So 4 is like where you either wake up or don't. And the wake up is the only reason why all this is happening is because on the inside, you keep taking the wrong side of your heart. You keep going, sorry, heart, you're out of luck. Like going cold on yourself versus, hey, heart, let's make it right. Like that perspective. So it's that shift. Now, I actually think that shift is possible more this year than any other year I've ever seen in my life. Like as far as for people to finally get the core relationship.
So that's on Sunday, and now on Monday, when we talk again, we're gonna be traveling all the way back to the head.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's when the mind concludes. So the mind, you change your mind after step 4. So step 4 is like, I don't belong being this, I belong being that. And then the mind's like, well, I think that means we got chances. I think we ought to do this. I think we ought to do that. Like, then the I think starts to fire off. So the thing is, if you don't make that conclusion that you're going to love yourself first, and love yourself without any proof that you're good or anything, you're just going to, I'm going to love you, even if I'm a loser, I'm going to love me. Then if you take that state, then the mind will be positive and start to build out. If you take the state of no one will help us, no one will be there for us, it's always going to be the sad tale, then the mind will start then create the sad tale and start weaving together sad tales and weaving together ideas and people that agree with that sad tale and just start making that the story.
So what about we're coming into this election. People are genuinely kind of gone home. They're not going out as much. They're consuming content. There's a lot of fear. Like what do you tell people that are fearing about the election?
I say, I mean, you have to ask in your heart if you believe what I'm about to say, but if you are fearing the outcome of the election, then you are not aware that you control reality. You're not aware that you control reality. If you're afraid, then you don't realize you have the remote. You have the
Yeah.
remote.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how it works or looks because I'm, first year I'm like 100% Kool-Aid on this, but yeah, I'm not quite sure how it works in the metaphysics because but I do know that's the case. So I'm not afraid at all. And because I know either it doesn't matter who wins, I'm not
You know
afraid. It doesn't
what?
matter.
It really, this is the whole point. It really doesn't matter. But we've been taught to put all of our energy and effort in this list, do or die, which side wins, which side doesn't. And at the end of it, from my experience, from my background, they really both work for the same side. There is no right, there is no left. There's just different versions of the same word. We're prisoners on planet Earth in our current economy, our current lifestyle, we are prisoners. And what age of Aquarius is breaking us out of that prison? And that's what's coming. That's what I feel.
I agree. I mean, I feel like it does not matter, and for those who needs it for it to matter, go ahead and play that game for a while longer. But I feel like I feel like just talking to a lot of different sources, like the Palladians and Wendy Kennedy's channel and other sources, that the Earth has a different plan, whether the U.S. is aware of it or not,
Yeah.
whether Russia is aware of it or not, whether like if this, I really am kind of going back to Christ, honestly, where it's just like, y'all go ahead and plan Rome if you want to, but God has different plans. So play along in the sandbox. It's going this way, period. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no like if or when or if this happens or that happens. And that's kind of like the waking up. Like, oh, I thought all the power was right here. Like, who had the money and stuff like that? And it's like, no, that's not the power at all. As far as real power, personal expression and ascension, all kinds of cool stuff that, Monopoly doesn't own the rights to.
So man plans and worries and God laughs.
Pretty much. Like, yeah. And so far, I mean, you look at it, we think it's the end all be all, but look at like World War II. Like, I look at World War II. Oh my God, the whole world. Not if you're in South America. What war?
Yeah.
Like, there was no war. Oh, they're having a hard time getting sugar. I mean, supplies are low. Like Australia, World War II, like, well, they were sending their troops, but otherwise, what war? Like, honestly, we've all learned that you can live in a complete pocket and not even know the whole world. And at the end of the day, the World War ended, everything stopped.
Yeah.
And to some tribe in Africa, like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
Like, nothing at all. I feel like if we put our attention in those things, then they'll be bigger.
Yeah.
If we don't put our attention in those things, then they'll be smaller. And that's how it works.
People are basically, like when I went to rescue the Republic, that's what I saw people very desperate to want to have something happen. And I'm like, the truth is we're not in control. And I could see people very sick because they were trying to control an outcome. And
Yeah.
if they put the same effort into adapting, then when things happen, whatever happens, they will find their solution. That was my personal experience.
Yeah, I feel you're correct. And I just saw a picture like God conscious. Like, you're here to realize that you are God, a child of God. That's what you're here to realize. And the irony here is, as long as you put all your power in these false gods, which is like money and stock market and, the president, these are all false gods. And it's not that we're meant to follow God, but we're meant to follow God as being a child of God. So within us, we are the God. We are the latest representative. And once you can take over your reality, and I do believe like we can get to a place where we're making things shapeshift. I mean, the CIA has remote viewing. I mean, government has already researched this spiritual stuff and proven it and used it in warfare. Okay, so I'm not even gonna think about this as like a what if. Like, CIA release the docs. We know. So this is all possible to project your mind to a place in space and time. It's possible to astral project somewhere else and view it and come back. It's been proven, so to me, that's fun. I want those powers. I want to start playing around with that versus be a star on a TV show.
Yeah, I agree. So
that's the fun stuff.
What's some practical advice for people as we're starting to close off? What's some practical advice for this week?
Practical is one, just start living your relationship to the world that you want to live. So my relationship to the world is my sphere. What's the thing in Vegas? It's called the sphere. Is that what it is?
Yeah, sphere.
The world is my sphere. I'm the one making all these projections around me. I'm the one making this show for me. I'm only making it for me. I'm not making it for anyone else. I don't want to step on any toes, but I also don't want anyone to step on my sphere. So the idea is to be who you are and to give yourself the space and time away from other people so that you can do what you need to do. So really separating yourself from the need to interact. Just go ahead and walk your own sphere.
So basically, it's go back in, find a place where you feel comfortable with you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is.
Yep. Feel comfortable with yourself, feel comfortable being with where you are, and then figure out when the sun goes into Scorpio, it's really about, I like this feeling of love. I need this much every day. Well, what gets in the way of it? Well, that damn job. Okay, well, we need a little space in the job. like, so we can keep the heart on. What else gets away with it? That damn wife. Okay, we want space in the wife, whatever. Like, we just got to figure out where the spaces are, and then you find your place where it's like just right. And that's really what early Scorpio is, that Goldilocks zone inside of us, like finding that Goldilocks zone. That's the first stage.
So, so I guess if we really want to know the truth of the outcome of the election, we just have to go back to season 10 of Bart Simpson.
It could be. I'm real curious on it, but I know this either way. The world, we're going to get what we came
Yeah.
for. So it can come at 1,000 calculations. It come from one being elected and then being shown as corrupt. It could be one, the right one being elected and the other one being shown as corrupt, or somewhere there's corruption going on. I'll tell you
It's
that.
all corruption.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
from my experience being up there, working in the other side of communication, part of the reason why I had my government vacation is because I found out it was all corruption, and I started telling people that it just is what it is.
If you guys want to help the process of the truth coming out, then open up to what the real truth is. Say to yourself, okay, I don't care what it is, just show me the truth.
Yeah, that's it.
I
Show me
don't
the truth.
care what it is. You have to say that. I don't care what it is, just show me the truth, because people are not wanting to see their guy.
Yeah,
So it's like, because you were saying no, you're pushing away the truth more than you're allowing it, because you're saying, not my guy, not my guy. I say, screw them all. Whoever is blamed, let's show the cards now. I don't care. And we'll all deal with it when we see it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, just show me the truth, and I'll take what it is, whatever it is, right? And I think then we'll see the truth, whatever it is.
I
I
agree.
don't pretend to know it. All right, buddy. Much love and light to everyone. We'll see you Thursday for Astro Mechanics, everyone.
Yeah.
1 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here on Human Garage Network.
Chris,
Ta.
it's so good to be back talking to you.
Thank you, buddy. Seem to have you back there in the tropics. I'm getting my tropical set up here behind you, so it's going to be great.
Okay, take care.
Take care, buddy.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Hey, and if you guys haven't done it yet, there's a couple things I want you to do. Go and set up for our newsletter and check out Behind the Reel. Behind the Reel is all the content we can't share with you. It's getting harder and harder to share content live. So we were looking at ways, how can we fund this mission to continue to make things free? All of our content from beginner all the way through to practitioner is in our programs. The help, the support, and everything is free of charge. And the way that we do that is we currently fund it through supplements and donations. But we're actually doing taking all that content, the hours and hours of stuff that we can't put publicly, and we're putting it behind the reel. And I think it's $12.99 a month. And in there, you're going to see hours of video and content of transformation stories where you get to see the beginning all the way to the middle and all the way to the end. And we'll be following it through. There'll be a whole bunch of new things going in there, but basically we are taking everything that we do and we're putting it behind the reel because we can control that. We can deliver what we want. As you guys know, we were going through a media censorship ban. And so we're talking about water. I mean, the stupidest things. So please go check out Behind the Reel. Also, if you go to our website, humangarage.net, check it out. We have an event happening in Miami for the first time ever. We're going to share performance maneuvers. We've been asked to go to one of the most elite biohacking events on the planet, and it's in a $50 million mansion in Miami. So we're going there, and what we set up is a VIP for anybody who wants to try the performance maneuvers and be a part of it and help others. So you get to experience it yourself and learn how to help others with it. We're doing that event at the Miami. It's November 9th. You can check it out on our website right now. And a couple other things. How do you guys, what are some of the other things you can do? Go follow us on other platforms. Like right now, go follow us on X, go follow us on YouTube, put notifications up, because when a censorship happens or something goes on, we start coming up on other platforms. Like we all of a sudden have 300,000 people on Facebook that weren't there like 2 months ago. So we will be distributing content wherever we can. And last thing and most important thing is, if you haven't tried our new fascial release, it's insane how good it is. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. Just go try it out, fascial release, check it out on our website. And I will be streaming live. This is going to be a really cool stream. You can check out the story. I'll be streaming live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And you're going to see us come out in a whole bunch of different areas here soon. So looking forward to seeing you guys. This is the new Human garage. Take care.